Woke up this little moon and my diamonds came in from Elliot. Pearls on that fucking bitch's neck, she so elegant. Shop about the fucking mall, so much made me a resident. This Maybach got 4 windows, 10, it only feel like the president. How I'm coming, I'm just standing this.
Hello, welcome back to the Crooked Hour. Today we're going to be doing our how to bet both ways on the fight between Luke Rockhold and Paulo Costa. Now when we go over their record, 13 wins, 2 losses for Paulo Costa, 16 wins and 5 losses for Paulo Costa. Average fight time for Costa is 10 minutes and 3 seconds. For Rockhold, it's 7 minutes and 22 seconds. Luke Rockhold does have a 2-inch height advantage here at 6'3", while Paulo Costa 6'1". And you see these circles on the stats if you're watching. Extra 5 inches for Luke Rockhold, and it's circled blue because blue means good, red means bad. When there's big stat difference, whether it's good or positive, it'll be circled blue for good, red for bad. So I circled it blue because 5 inches of reach will help Luke Rockhold in this fight, and I do believe that, and I will bring that up more later. Orthodox versus Southpaw, which will be interesting. Paulo Costa's a younger fighter. Luke Rockhold's almost 38, 37, something like that, which might play a bit of a problem in this fight. Then we go to the striking stats. Strikes landed per minute, 6.85 for Paulo Costa, 4.18 for Rockhold. So Paulo Costa is landing a lot more strikes per minute, but if we look at their last 2 fights, which are the 2 fights that I taped, Luke Rockhold definitely does look like the busier fighter. You know, Costa fought Izzy 2 fights ago, and he was very reserved, not wanting to put much out there because of Izzy's feints and whatnot. And in his fight against Vittorio, I do believe he started off slow, but he definitely did pick it up as the rounds go on. But overall, if they turn up at their peak, Paulo Costa should be landing the more strikes if we're going off stats. Striking accuracy is higher for Paulo Costa at 59, 48% for Rockhold. Strikes absorbed per minute, it's circled red for Paulo Costa because he is absorbing 7.02 strikes per minute, but he's lucky he has a good chin, unlike Luke Rockhold, who is absorbing 2.43 per minute. But you know, his chin and his defense really makes a difference here, and that could maybe cost him the fight. But before we continue, I do want to bring up one thing, and that's the defense of Luke Rockhold. I don't think his chin's shit. I just think his defense is bad. I think his defense and head movement, his blocking, everything is bad. But I think he's got an average chin. I don't think he's got a terrible chin. I just think he puts himself in bad situations that nearly anybody would get knocked out if they got caught in that. I don't think he's got a terrible chin. I just think he's got a pretty bad defense with an average chin that causes, since his defense is so bad, it causes his chin to be a bit cracky sometimes, you know, causes his chin to get cracked, probably not as clean as it should. His defense does say 56%, but I don't think it's that good. He reaches a lot. He just leaves his hands down, especially even when getting attacked. He likes to see, so he'll drop his hands and try and circle out, and that's where he gets caught a lot of the time. Or he will take a break in between strikes, like we seen against Jan Blachowicz when they broke out of the clinch and he just got clipped bad, because it was just because he thought he was fine. He thought, okay, well, we're both just going to move away, but Jan attacked and clipped him bad. Defense for Paulo Costa is 48%. You know, his defense is average, pretty much that exact stat, probably about 50%. You know, sometimes he's blocking and sometimes he's getting hit. Takedown average per 15 minutes, 0.21 for Paulo Costa and 0.67 for Luke Rockhold. 50% takedown accuracy for Costa, 30% for Rockhold. Takedown defense, nice takedown defense from Costa at 80%, 68% for Luke Rockhold, and submission average 0% for Costa. He hasn't tried for a submission in the UFC, and for Luke Rockhold it is 1.1. So overall, I don't think this fight will be hitting the mat. I'll just say that now. I don't think this fight will hit the mat. But if it does, it should be competitive. I mean, Luke Rockhold's probably got the better wrestling, but Costa's very explosive, very strong in a clinch, very strong on the ground. I mean, I could just see him exploding out of certain situations. Now, overall, this fight is all about Luke Rockhold fighting on the outside and kicking, similar to what Izzy did, or similar to even what Vettori did early on, keeping him behind the jab and trying to pick at him with kicks and not letting him pressure him. If Rockhold lets Costa do what Yoel Romero did to Luke Rockhold will pay. He needs to give Costa something to respect. He needs to give him some power. He needs to give him some power kicks. That's what he needs to do, and I don't know if he'll be able to do that, and that's my main concern for Luke Rockhold. His defense, and will he be able to make Costa respect him? And that's something I want to know. With a 5-inch reach advantage, he should be able to poke that jab out. Now, Luke Rockhold is getting on the later side, as I said before. He's 37. All his 5 losses are by TKO, KO. He lost to Yoel Romero and then lost to Jan last time in 2019 at light heavyweight. He's back to middleweight now. I think a smart game plan for him here would just be to attack the legs of Costa. He likes to attack the legs. He does it to pretty much everybody, and keep him behind the jab. I feel like if he can attack the legs and keep him behind the jab, he could maybe win a decision here, but we'll get more into that later. And he just has to watch out for the power. He just has to watch out for the power, and if he sees an opportunity to get it to the ground, he might as well chase it, but not put a lot of energy into doing it. He just needs to fight this like a smart kickboxer. Easier said than done though, easier said than done. But let's go to actually how we're going to bet both ways on this fight, starting with Paulo Costa. Now, Paulo Costa, I'd probably give him a 70% chance to win this fight, just going straight off the bat. I feel like he's most likely going to win this fight, but I still think Luke Rockhold's got a decent chance. I do. I feel like there's a path to victory for Luke Rockhold that's kind of getting ignored by a lot of people. I think people are just going, oh, Luke Rockhold gets hit a lot, Paulo Costa's got nice power. And you're right, but Paulo Costa hasn't been showing that explosiveness against Izzy and against Vettori. He hasn't been showing that explosiveness. Maybe that's just because he knew Vettori was durable as shit, and he knew Izzy was defensive, and he was scared of the feints and whatnot. But yeah, he hasn't been showing the flurries, and I think the flurries will do him great here. Similar to what Yoel Romero did to Rockhold, exploding and catching him, I think Paulo Costa could do the same thing here, and I think he'd be very smart to do it. Overall, I think he could catch the chin of Luke Rockhold if he does win this fight. Could probably catch it in the first round, so that's why I am going Paulo Costa by TKO KO. There's no odds for this yet, so I just made up my own odds of what I think it would be around. 1.50 for Paulo Costa by TKO KO. He finds that chin from Luke Rockhold and finishes him. And if you want an extra bit of money, Paulo Costa by round 1 TKO KO. If I do think he's going to win, if I'm predicting this fight in the side of Paulo Costa, I think he comes out, explodes, catches Luke Rockhold fresh. Round 1, knocks him out, gets the KO win. Probably by an overhand from a flurry, and finishes off with some ground and pound. But I feel like the first shot might just put Luke Rockhold out clean, but then some ground and pound just to put the cherry on top, you know. But if you want to play it safe, maybe Luke Rockhold picks at the legs, makes his way to the round 2, and then maybe Paulo Costa gets the finish. I feel like Paulo Costa by TKO KO is the safe pick. If you're feeling a bit risky, TKO KO round 1 for Paulo Costa. Then we move on to Luke Rockhold. Now, if you're on the side of Luke Rockhold, which I've actually got a money line bet on Luke Rockhold just because I think the odds are pretty crazy for this fight. I would say they're pretty much right. They could be a little bit lower, and they are growing further apart, so the more I like them. But you know, Luke Rockhold's got a decent chance here. He's been training with Cheeto Vera lately. Just look at Cheeto's last performance. But he is on the older side. How does Luke Rockhold win this fight, you might be asking? I've seen a lot of people just saying he's just going to get caught, knocked out, and as I just showed, it's a big chance. But I could easily see Luke Rockhold just picking his way to a decision. It is going to be a hard road. It's going to be a hard road to travel. You know, 3 rounds, 15 minutes of picking the legs and jabbing away at Paulo Costa. I think that's how he wins this fight. Body kicks, leg kicks, using his reach to his advantage, hopefully having a better defense. Hopefully he doesn't have to rely on his chin too much. He will get hit, but hopefully his defense holds up. Hopefully he's got some better head movement. And hopefully he just does something similar to what Izzy did. Probably not to the same effect, but I feel like he could pick at it. Maybe he gets dropped in the first round, loses the first round, wins the last 2 rounds, 29-28 decision. I could see it. He just batters the legs, batters the body, slows Paulo Costa down. Doesn't quite do enough to get the finish, but goes to a decision. I could definitely see it. It's a sweaty bet though. I mean, you got to be assuming that he avoids the power of Paulo Costa. But if he did, man, he's probably going to land the more strikes. He's probably going to be more effective with his striking overall. Probably going to be landing the better, cleaner shots, especially if he's jabbing his leg kick. And he'll be getting better of most exchanges anyway, just because of his reach. 5 inches of reach. You know, he'll be landing that jab when Paulo Costa will throw a hook and maybe it won't land, just because Rockhold's got that extra little bit of reach on him. So I've got Luke Rockhold moneyline. If you're not feeling quite risky, take the decision prop. I mean, he's paying at 3.31 right now. So, I mean, that's a pretty obvious bet. If you like Luke Rockhold, moneyline, just plays moneyline. But if you're like, well, I think Paulo Costa's going to lose, but I want to bet on Luke Rockhold because I like the guy, I like his style, and there is a chance. But I'm not doing it unless I get good money out of it. Luke Rockhold by decision. I mean, it's his most likely path to win. As I said, 29-28, wins the last 2 rounds. I could definitely see that. And the brackets mean, you know, it's not definitely the odds, but I reckon it'll be around the 5.0 mark to get it done by decision. Overall, it's going to be a great fight. And, you know, it's the power versus the old man with the dodgy chin. No, I'm joking. I'm never really seen much of Luke Rockhold. I'm a newer fan to the sport, going back watching him. I picked up on some interesting things. Costa, not a big fan, not a hater. I like him. I like his style. Just not the biggest fan of his last 2 performances. I liked his work towards the end against Vettori, but he did start off a bit slow, and in a 3-round fight, I do think that benefits Rockhold. Rockhold likes to start early with his kicks and jabs. I mean, I could just see him coasting this to a decision. You know, Paulo Costa, I feel like if this was a 5-round fight, I feel like after his fight against Vettori, I'd be edging it more to Costa just because more chances to catch the chin of Rockhold. But then again, Costa could just come out early and starch Rockhold in the first round, just using that power and explosiveness. But it's if he actually uses it, because against Vettori and against Izzy, he didn't really use it. So, I mean, we'll see. So either way, I hope your bets land. This is how to bet both ways. I don't have a prop bet today because there's no good props, I believe. I mean, there's no overarching prop that I believe in. You know, probably fight doesn't go the distance, but that's probably paying shit. Fight does go the distance, but that's assuming Rockhold doesn't get knocked out. I can't really think of a prop that covers the whole fight, so no prop for this. How to bet both ways. I'm hopefully going to get the main event out, and I'm hopefully going to get Jose Aldo versus Merab out. Hopefully. I just wanted to get this out because this is an intriguing matchup. I hope you guys enjoy the matchup. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you do, like and subscribe, and comment which way you are betting. This has been How to Bet Both Ways, and as always, have a good one.